Hi guys, it's 3PM Chat-tyme Binti LOVE, and again I'm talking about the case. Man, this is the case for the century. Finally, there is someone on trial for Tupac Shakur. Now, if I might have spoke about this, maybe I didn't. I went to Harlem, New York in 1996 to see Tupac's memorial. But at that time, I thought he had his funeral in LA. There were talks about that at that time. But with this trial that's happening here now, I realized that they did not bury Tupac. He was cremated. So the memorial in Harlem, New York was a real memorial. And there were so many people there, and it was a loving experience, and it was a healing experience because everyone was very sad. This is Tupac, again, he got shot, for those who did not know, in 1996. September 7th, in front of the hotel, the Flamingo Hotel. He went to see a fight. Mike Tyson was very big during those times. And so he went to see a fight in Las Vegas. Tupac did. Now I'm covering day 6 of the trial. And basically, they're talking about the fact that this should only be like a 6-week trial because it's like I was saying in my last video, was that he already admitted, Dwayne Davis, who is serving time now since 2023, he already admitted that he was the one that shot Tupac. So I was kind of saying, like, well, if he admitted that, then why is there a trial? And I spoke about, well, maybe they want other people to come forward, other people who might have had something to do with the trial, with the actual murder. Because, again, many of people attacked Tupac at the Mike Tyson fight. Again, I'm talking about this, So I'm reporting about, so many people were there in the hotel lobby, and it saddens me sometimes to see the footage, because I went to his memorial in 1996. So many people were there in the hotel library. Basically, they attacked him in the hotel lobby. And so, but so many people love Tupac. I'm so happy to be able to see this come to a close. So again, for day 6, as being alleged that it should only be a 6-week trial. But I think that if they brought it to trial, it could be something else. Because technically, he could have just signed off, because he has a whole video of him and a book allegedly saying that he is the one that shot Tupac, and then 6 days later, he died from allegedly the fatal injuries. So I'm wondering why it's a whole trial anyway, you know? Because why take it to trial when there's already has been an admittance to it, you know? But they're saying that, let's wrap this up for a 6-week trial and also be able to you know for him to plead guilty, for Dwayne Davis to plead guilty. They're saying that he was the mastermind, that he might have been the mastermind of this. Something's fishy about this situation. And I'm shaking my finger because I'm saying something's fishy about this situation. And I don't think this should be a 6-week trial. I think that this is the trial of the century. We thought it was P. Diddy, but it's Tupac. This trial, I think there's a lot of witnesses and people who are still living 30 years later. Yeah. That might have something to say. And I don't think that we should just wrap this up because someone came forward and said, hey, I killed Tupac. There might be more people. Like, was he the mastermind? Was he not the mastermind? Talking about Dwayne Davis. I don't think this is going to be a 6-week trial. For the impact that Tupac Shakur has and still has on America and also the world. And so I definitely think that this is not a wrap it up and get back to lunch type of situation. Like how they talk about, I think it's lunchtime. I heard several times they spoke about, I think it's lunchtime. I didn't like that. Now, I thought I heard that. When there's a trial of a man of his stature, Tupac Shakur. Don't do that. Don't talk about lunchtime, because, like, they're just waiting for lunch and not understanding that Tupac Shakur was a great man, and within his remembrance, he'll always be a great man. So again, I feel as though I don't like them saying it's going to be just a 6-week trial. I think that, Now, mind you, Dwayne Davis was arrested in 2023 for the fact they thought that he killed Tupac Shakur, and there was a admittance to the fact that Dwayne Davis, from Dwayne Davis, that he was the one who killed Tupac Shakur, the greatest rapper of all times. So they locked him up first in 2023, but they're just now putting him on trial in for the death of Tupac in 1996, in August of 2026. And so Dwayne Davis has been in jail since 2023, correct? And again, his trial is being heard in Las Vegas, where their initial shooting took place. And there's a lot of talking about, did Dwayne Davis do this by himself? Did did he have other people with him? And again, through research of the video for that night there at the Flamingo Hotel, I feel as though clearly there was more people. And this is why I have this feeling, because from the footage that I've seen, Tupac was just bopping out there how he normally walked. He just walked like that, and that's who he is. And it can make a lot of people jealous because he has a stride. Like some certain actors have a stride to them, how they walk. Like Denzel Washington, he has a stride, and he walks a certain way. But Tupac has a stride, and these are the same guys from the block that he was with, allegedly, for years. But then he became elevated, and now he's a celebrity and a star. And people on the block did not like that from him. Now, did he? They didn't. And so a lot of people, I don't know how they got to Vegas, because I think, this is just speculation that, Tupac was in L.A. With Death Row. But he came to Vegas to just commentary to see the fight of Mike Tyson. But from the video footage, which I consider to be research, again, like 30 or 50 people jumped on him in a hotel lobby, and one security guard trying to save him. So I don't think Dwayne Davis acted alone at all. And from other sources, there's like conversation about Suge Knight being in the car, the driver of Tupac that night, the same night the fight at the Flamingo Hotel, allegedly. That's I'm concerned about. Did the fight happen in the Flamingo Hotel? Okay, if it happened, then apparently, Suge Knight got in the car. Suge Knight got in the car, and Tupac got in the car as a passenger. And at some point, they were blocked in at a red light, allegedly. A car in front and a car in back. And that's when the shooting happened like that, Just one gunman for blocking for the front of the car, and the blocking for the back of the car, just for one gunman, just Dwayne Davis, to shoot into the car. It doesn't seem feasible to me, like, to do all that for one gunman. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's it just one gunman shooting in the car? Okay, let me block in the front of the car. Let me block in the back of the car. Those are people allegedly with the shooter. For one gunman to shoot. Now, there had to be multiple shots by more than one gun. Because there's more than one person. Now, he could be a lone ranger. Those movies, Lone Ranger. He might have had a dual shot, like two guns, a gun in one hand and a gun in another hand. But, I don't know if they still do that. The Wild Wild West, the movies. Clint Eastwood movies. Because this is really what it seems like to me. But I don't think that it was only one shooter. So I definitely think that this trial should not be, okay, let's just wrap it up in 6 weeks. Because one person said, hey, I was the shooter for Tupac Shakur. Well, allegedly it was more than one shooter. Well, there was no final bullet because, again, he went to the hospital after this whole thing with all the gunshots there. He went to the hospital and he died 6 days later. Yeah. And so that's what I really want to talk about. On day 6, they're saying we're going to wrap it up. Wrap what up? You know what I'm saying? There's not just some flimsy dude in a Popeyes restaurant that got shot at. This is the legendary Tupac Shakur. Now, I don't like the fact that they're going to say that we're going to just wrap it up in 6 weeks and move on or something like that. Let's let him plead guilty. But now, if it comes to trial, let there be a trial. Let there be due justice and due process. And let the witnesses come through. Because, see, like, a lot of times it's like people won't come out unless they know that there's going to be some type of justice system. So they're trying to wrap it up in 6 weeks. But it might be 9 days in the trial that, someone might really come through and say, okay, they're taking this seriously. And we're going to come forward and we have more information. Because for me, I didn't even know that there was a possibility of a trial that was going to happen here with the Tupac Shakur murder. And again, I went to his memorial service in 1996. Now, I don't know what month it was. It was 30 years ago of sorts. But I know it wasn't cold, but it might have been a little breezy. So maybe it was in October. This is just speculation. But this is day 6. I definitely think don't wrap it up. Let more people come for it. Because I think it was more people than Dwayne Davis that shot into that car on the night of the Tupac Shakur tragedy that led to his death. Now make sure to make love your guiding source. And make sure to like, subscribe to this video, and share it with 10 people. Bye-bye.